Installation_unremembered, stories, crystals from Manupalakanathu Matthew on Vimeo. The Allied Normandy landing in 1944 is known as the beginning of the end of war in Europe. But less known are the 2.5 million Indians who also played a critical role in World War II. About the same time as the D-Day military invasion, Indian, Gurkha and African soldiers were fighting parallel battles in Kohima, Myanmar, formerly Burma, alongside their British colonizers. These battles were some of the most grueling campaigns of the war and turned the tide against the Japanese. The troops who fought in India and Myanmar in World War II called themselves the Forgotten Army, as their contributions were overlooked compared with those in Europe. But the Battle of Imphal/Kohima was chosen in 2013 as Britain's greatest battle in its National Army Museum contest. As we commemorate D-Day, it's time we recognize the forgotten soldiers. They played a critical role in Europe, Africa and Asia and yet are barely remembered. Their history is complicated because they were fighting for their British colonizers while their homeland was fighting for independence from the same colonizer. Having lived in England, India and the United States gives me both an insider and outsider perspective. This has allowed me to collaborate with my subjects to tell deeply personal stories in a way that evokes sympathy from an audience outside of that narrative. Visiting Yad Vashem in Israel brought the enormity of the Holocaust into perspective and that of my husband's Jewish family's experience. It also made me consider my own cultural history of India and its independence soon after World War II. The upheaval of the 1947 partition of British India and the violence in its wake resulted in more than 12 million refugees and left 1 million dead in just 3 months. On my first Fulbright Fellowship to India in 2012, I created artwork on the stories of the children of the partition from both India and Pakistan. On my second Fulbright to India 2 years ago, I created artwork on the unremembered Indian soldiers from World War II. Too many guns equals too much gun violence. Why can't we draw a line between these 2 points? When I learned about the 2.5 million Indian volunteers, I was astounded that they appeared nowhere in our history books in India, in South Asia more broadly, or globally.